Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Smackdown. I'm Bryon, and I'm once again joined by a man who is so excited to see Aleister Black take on Cody Rhodes for that undisputed WWE Championship. Mike, say hi, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know why Aleister Black was there. I feel like he just came out because they needed to give someone who wasn't Drew McIntyre to Cody. And I guess Aleister Black was in the building and had nothing to do that night. So,
yeah, apparently Drew McIntyre had to film a movie, so that's why he got suspended.
Oh, really? He did? Okay.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that fucks up my booking, but
well,
whatever.
I don't know. He may come back. Yeah, honestly, last week's SmackDown was kind of random. from Jade Cargill's 10-second promo where she proclaimed to everyone that she is that, and then we have Aleister Black and Cody Rhodes in the main event. Just a random SmackDown, man. Random.
Yeah, she came out, said, "I am that bitch," and then left, and you and I were both like, wait, is that it? That's all she's gonna do?
Yep.
Oh man.
Booking genius, Road Dogg. Genius.
I love Road Dogg so much.
Well, let's see if that randomness continues as we head into Survivor Series. We are once again booking the next episode of SmackDown, and in case you are not aware, we are booking the next episode of SmackDown on the show according to these rules that we've set. As you can see, the first line is redacted because WWE isn't following the rules, especially now that they're doing this Last Time Is Now tournament. So I guess the first rule is not there anymore. So we'll just put it there for now. It's a redacted rule. Everything else is in play. And then we are going to tell you our prediction and bookings for the next episode a little bit later on. After this episode drops, we will watch the next episode of SmackDown when it does drop. And we are going to basically do some points. And we will score our predictions and bookings based on this scoring system. And then we will go back here next time on the next episode of this here show and tell you what we got. So here is what we got last week. I got 14 points, I think. I may be miscounting, but I think I got 14. It's due to a couple things. Number one, I got Rey Fenix versus Tala Tonga, the result correct. I also got the Nia Jax win correct. Obviously, the MFT appearance, and that's like the majority of the points as well. We got the Jade Cargill promo. I got that right, except for Bianca Belair coming out. She did not come out. Instead, Jade Cargill cut that 10-second promo, as stated earlier, and then left. So that's that. And then we got the Secret Service and Kiana James appearance, which also garnered those extra points. Mike, you also got a good week, despite the random booking with your points. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I had a pretty good week, mostly from the MFTs showing up. It seems like you want to book them every week because they give you a lot of points. And yeah, that was most of my points. And then I also got points from the Cody Rhodes showing up, and also Chelsea Green winning the U.S. title.
Sounds good. Let's see if we can keep that momentum on the next episode. Oh, man. It's probably going to be more random than last week. I can tell you that for a fact. Let's take a look at what's announced. I think these are the only matches announced so far. The Last Time Is Now tournament first round matches. The Miz takes on Jey Uso, and we also have LA Knight taking on a mystery opponent. So, without further ado, let's book this thing and get to my version of the show as Cody Rhodes walks to the ring. Cody talks about what happened last week on SmackDown, and as you have seen on Raw, he is now involved in division business. So he is now in the War Games match. Again, I think that's due to Drew McIntyre going to film a movie. So Cody doesn't have much to do, so might as well put him in the War Games match, and there you have it. He then says that what happened on Raw will not affect his title reign because he will still do what he can to keep the title, and he will keep fighting for the people. Lights go out, and then Aleister Black comes out with Zelina Vega at his side, as always, who says that he will take that title from Cody, but he just needs the right time to do it. And because Cody Rhodes is in War Games, I think Aleister Black might be inserted into the War Games match, maybe. But before that happens, he is then interrupted by Damian Priest, who cuts Aleister Black down. You know, it's Wepa time. You know, it's time for the bisexual Undertaker to take on Aleister Black, whatever. They do a little brawl between Aleister and Damian. And Cody, because of what happened on Raw, he is then attacked by the Vision, who just mercilessly beat him. But he gets some help from the other babyfaces, like Jey Uso and CM Punk, I guess. I guess SmackDown has now become a Raw replay show, or an extension of Monday Night Raw. But it is what it is. We then move on from that to the first round match of the Last Time Is Now tournament, as Jey Uso takes on The Miz. And I am going to have Jey Uso win due to interference from Carmelo Hayes. Remember, the feud between Carmelo Hayes and The Miz is not over yet. So we're going to have Jey Uso win because, number one, no matter how hard the internet does not like Jey Uso, WWE still wants to push Jey Uso. And number two, because Carmelo Hayes and The Miz is not over yet, I think that may be a match for Survivor Series between the two. So yeah, that is that. We'll move on to Jade Cargill versus B-Fab. This happens because, well, there was a backstage segment last week after Jade Cargill cut her 10-second promo speech. She goes to the back. B-Fab said a bunch of words. Jade Cargill overheard those words. And a bunch of Gen Z slang was thrown about. One of which was bet. And that's how we got this match. And I am going to have Jade Cargill win this match by pinfall. After the match, Michin runs down to check on B-Fab because obviously Michin is friends with B-Fab. And Jade Cargill attacks Michin, which I think sets up their feud for Survivor Series. I think we're going to go with Jade Cargill versus Michin. Maybe at the Go Home Show or Survivor Series itself. And then we could work on Charlotte once she loses the title. The women's tag team titles, to, I don't know, some other women's tag team, I guess. Like the Judgment Day or Bookie Warriors. I don't know, man. Just some women's tag team, I guess. We'll move on from that to Axiom as he takes on Tommaso Ciampa. And maybe I am, I guess, I don't know. Maybe I am DIY biased, I guess. I'll have Tommaso Ciampa win by pinfall. After the match, Tommaso and his DIY partner, Johnny Gargano, they beat down Axiom, and Nathan Frazier joins the brawl with DIY. Ilya Dragunov then runs down to help Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and as a result, DIY leaves the ring. Ilya is then attacked by Tama Tonga and the MFTs. Now, I think what this is going to lead to is probably a fatal four-way match for the United States Championship at Survivor Series or the Go Home Show between Tommaso, Nathan Frazier, Ilya Dragunov, and Tommaso Ciampa. So all four of those men, I think, will be the four that will be vying for the U.S. Championship. After the beatdown by the MFTs on Ilya Dragunov. We have Solo picking up the mic. We then transition to an MFT promo where he says that the faction is dominant. It's more dominant than ever. We are powerful. And we are not faking what we said a couple weeks ago, that we want the titles back on our hands. We want the titles back on our family. They're then interrupted by the Wyatt Sicks, who then brawl with the MFTs, which I think will set up the Tag Team Championship match between the MFTs and the Wyatt Sicks at either the Go Home Show or the PLE. I'm guessing the PLE just due to the amount of build that this match has gotten. And I guess we can factor in Sammy. Sammy can join. And Shinsuke Nakamura as well. But man, I think the War Games match is still going towards the Vision. I don't think it's going to be the MFTs versus a bunch of other people. Sorry to say. If they do, though, I would be pretty happy because, MFTs, they got the aura. Much better than the Vision. But yeah, I'm going to have that happen there at either the Go Home Show or the PLE for the Tag Team Championships, and we'll factor in Sami Zayn and Shinsuke and the other folk on that finish, leading to, I guess, Wyatt Sicks retaining, and then that's when we have, I guess, the 4-on-4, I guess. It could be a War Games match, but I think it's gonna be a regular match, unfortunately. We then move on from that to Alexa Bliss as she takes on Lash Legend. And we're going to have Lash Legend win by pinfall because 50-50 booking is a thing in the company. After the match, we're going to have Alexa, Charlotte, Lash, and Nia brawl, which I think is going to lead to a championship match at Survivor Series War Games for the Women's Tag Team Championships between the two. Next week, it's going to be Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair, even though we already did that. Or it could be Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair. Who knows? But that is what I'm going to have there. And I am going to have Charlotte and Alexa drop it to Nia Jax and Lash Legend so that they can move on to the title picture where Charlotte takes on Jade Cargill, I guess, until Bianca Belair comes back and they resume their little rivalry from WrestleMania, I guess. Moving to the main event. Let's just wrap up with the main event here. LA Knight as he takes on the mystery opponent. So for this one, we are going to predict the mystery opponent, and we are also going to predict the winner of this match. Now, because LA Knight is a jobber, a golden jobber, so to speak, LA Knight is going to take on someone who is a little bit higher on the chain. Someone who's got a bit more name than LA Knight. Someone who embodies LA Knight's persona. And no, that is not Joe Hendry. I did not pick Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry will be in the tournament. However, he is not going to be the mystery opponent for LA Knights, I don't think. I think he is more reserved for Raw because Raw has a bigger audience, and Joe Hendry will be exposed to a bigger crowd at Raw than at SmackDown. So, who is LA Knight going to face? In my opinion, it is going to be Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is another name, or Nick Nemeth is his real name. I think Dolph Ziggler has had history with John Cena. He is an outside company guy. I think he's in TNA right now. I may be wrong. I think Dolph Ziggler is a great opponent to face LA Knight. They're kind of the same gimmick, kind of. Dolph Ziggler is the show-off. He's got the charisma going. LA Knight, same thing. I think both of them can work. Dolph Ziggler can work the heel, and LA Knight can remain the sort of babyface in this match. So, classic babyface versus heel. And I am going to have, unfortunately, because LA Knight is a golden jobber, and WWE is wasting their money and time with LA Knight. I am going to have Dolph Ziggler win the match by pinfall. And that's it. That is SmackDown. I didn't have Cody Rhodes, coming out to shake someone's hand or whatever the hell. I'd rather have it be at the opening segment because that's where sort of the meat is gonna lie. So instead, I'm just gonna have it be this surprise entrant into the tournament, and the person is probably gonna win. I didn't pick Obafemi as well. Obafemi, I know, is a great pick. He is a heel, and he is very, very dominant. But I don't think they're moving him up from NXT just yet. I think there's still a bit more for Obafemi to do before he moves up. He could potentially be just moving to Raw. Another sort of potential candidate would probably be Javon Evans, but I think he already has a match against Gunther next week. So that should be a classic. And we'll talk more about that as we head into Raw. And yeah, I think that's all I have. Questions?
Alexa and Charlotte already lost the titles, by the way.
Oh, they did? Oh, yeah, that's right.
They lost in
Kabuki Warriors won, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, shit.
It's interesting you chose Dolph Ziggler. I actually haven't heard his name thrown around at all. I've definitely heard Joe Hendry. I've heard maybe Kevin Owens, if Kevin Owens is back. I've heard Obafemi. I've also heard maybe Jeff Hardy. I could see Dolph Ziggler coming back. Yeah.
There's a lot of potential names out there, but I'm leaning more towards like who's a heel that can bounce off of LA Knight being a babyface and just have the same sort of demeanor, I suppose, the same kind of gimmick. And Dolph Ziggler is kind of that, so it would be a good pairing. But and plus the partnership between TNA and WWE, that is a thing. So yeah, I picked Dolph Ziggler. I know people are gonna pick different names, but I'll be the wild card here. I'll be the sort of what do you call it? Like a wild card pick, an outlier pick, I suppose. We'll see. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right. Any other questions before we head to your card?
Who do you think eventually challenges Jade for her championship? Do you think it's Bianca?
I think it's Bianca, ultimately. I think this is leading up to Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill at maybe WrestleMania next year, I guess. And we'll run back their feud from last year. Not last year, this year, actually. They'll run it back next year. And I guess we could give it back to Bianca? I don't know. Because I don't know how seriously they want to take Jade Cargill. Like, she had the 10-second promo. So that signals to me like they're not taking Jade that seriously as a champion. If you know what I mean. So I think
it was very weird that she had a very short promo as the new champ. So I'm not sure what's up with her.
Yeah. So I think she's gonna have it for a while, but ultimately I think she's gonna give it back to Bianca just as a sort of 50-50 booking kind of, Bianca gets the championship and then she gains it back, I guess. And Jade Cargill can go back to, I don't know, partnering up with other heels, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think they have that confidence in her for her to be that sort of champion. So, oh well. Any other questions before we move to your card?
Nope, I'm ready for my card.
All right. Let's move to your card then. Starting off with
I have Cody Rhodes promo to start off the show. Cody comes out, addresses what happened last week, but he says, hey, Drew is suspended, so I don't got much going on tonight, so I'm just gonna sit here with you guys again and enjoy the championship matches that are going on this week as Cody makes his way to the front row to sit down and watch SmackDown again.
So we're basically doing last week's thing where he tries to sit.
Yes.
But it gets interrupted by Aleister Black. I wonder if another random guy just interrupts Cody as he sits down.
So nobody interrupts Cody in the beginning of the show. He just goes and sits down. And that's it, really.
All right. Great. Yeah. Genius booking. Anyway, we'll move on to
the Motor City Machine Guns versus the MFTs. The MFTs have been feuding with the Motor City Machine Guns plus Shinsuke and Rey Fenix for some reason. I think this is the first, or actually the second, because Rey Fenix fought Talatonga last week. And because of 50-50 booking, I think the Motor City Machine Guns win this via pinfall. And yeah, there we go. This is a mini feud these guys have going on, so I don't know where the hell they go from here, but sure.
So, do you think this has the potential to be a War Games match? I mean, you have 4 people in the MFTs, and then you have 4 people in the Motor City Machine Guns, Shinsuke and Sammy, and maybe Rey Fenix. So, do you think this will be a War Games match?
Potentially.
This has like more people than the Division one, really. So are we getting like 2 War Games matches? Like I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
I don't think they're gonna go at War Games because I don't think this has enough star power to be a War Games match. But I don't know if you need star power for a War Games match if the rest of the card is good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We'll see. I saw a lot of comments of people wondering when the build to War Games actually begins because nobody knows.
I guess we'll talk more about that when we head to Raw, because I genuinely think that it's more for Division, because, right, you have bigger names on there. You got CM Punk, you got potentially Roman Reigns, you got Paul Heyman, Division guys, and then you have, what else am I missing? Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Jey Uso, right? So definitely more star power there than here. So if they're planning for like a traditional Survivor Series match here, I don't mind, but dang, man. Also, aren't they feuding with the Wyatt Sicks? Did they just drop that? Did they just drop the whole MFTs going up against Wyatt Sicks? That whole thing? Are we just dropping that now?
Because the Wyatt Sicks, I guess, don't even, I don't know. They go in and out. So they really need to do something with the Wyatt Sicks, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on from that to.
We have a women's WWE Championship match between BFAB and Jade Cargill. And I actually think BFAB pulls out the ups. No, why would you ever think that BFAB would win this one? BFAB is thank you for coming and jobbing out. Jade Cargill wins via pinfall, probably in about the same amount of time that she had her promo last week. So here we go. I think I agree with you. I think she fights Michin next week. And they just kind of feed her a couple of jobbers to, strengthen her reign as the champ. And yeah, there you go.
She will be the female Goldberg.
I don't think she becomes the female Berg of Gold, but maybe she does. Maybe she does.
I mean, Goldberg matches are usually like, what, 10 minutes? Or not 10 minutes, 10 seconds? Like, especially squash matches. So I think that's what they're trying to do with Jade. just short matches where they can sort of hide her deficiencies as a wrestler, and there you go. But yeah, I think it's definitely going towards Michin and then eventually Bianca, as I said earlier. But I don't know. Do you think Bianca can come back next year and challenge Jade for that title?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. I think she definitely ends up being like the next contender for this title.
And do you think she goes over here, Bianca?
Depending on how well Jade is received by the crowd, I think Jade could be a long term champ because of how she's booked as like a big monster heel. But we'll see. I mean, judging by her ability to cut promos, I don't know how long she will last. Because
Yeah.
15 seconds of show is not going to cut it.
Yeah, we gotta have more time for the MFTs, bro. That's more important. But anyway, we'll move on from that to
Jey Uso versus The Miz. I think Jey Uso wins thanks to interference from Carmelo Hayes. This furthers the Miz Carmelo Hayes feud, and the Yeet Man cometh. He is always going to win because he is the Yeet Man.
the people love
And
eating, man.
He is so over. He is so over with the damn kids. It's insane.
Yeah, the internet may hate him, but damn, man, the kids, they just don't care. They want to eat. They want to eat with the Eat Meister. All right, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say here. Do you think I may have asked this question, but do you think Carmelo goes over in this feud with The Miz if this match does come?
I think Carmelo goes over. I think they're building up Carmelo to potentially be a main event guy.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carmelo Hayes versus Cody Rhodes. Woo! That would be banging right there. Anyway, we'll move on from that to
U.S. title Open Championship. Ilya Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa. Finally, Tommaso gets his shot at the title that he's been asking for a couple of weeks. I think that Axiom comes down mid-match, distracts Tommaso. Maybe they beat up Gargano at some point. I don't know what happens, but basically, Ilya is able to win via roll-up, and that will cause another mini feud between Axiom and DIY. And I think you were right. This eventually leads to a 4-way match between Ilya, Tommaso, Nathan Frazier, and one of Axiom or Johnny Gargano.
okay. And who do you think wins there? Do you think Ilya keeps his title?
I think Ilya keeps it. He's very much over. I could see Tommaso stealing it. I would love that for me, obviously, but I think Ilya keeps it. Yeah.
All right.
But I would not be totally surprised if Tommaso takes it, possibly.
You just want Tommaso to take it because he's your boy.
I do, yes. I do.
We can only dream, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see if Tommaso gets it. I guess if this 4-way match is to happen. And we'll move on to the main event, which is
I'm sorry for interrupting this, but I'm watching Thursday Night Football right now on Prime because the Patriots are playing, and this lady is wearing the most oversized, like, crimson fur coat you would ever see. And the only thing I can think of is Seth Rollins coming out.
We got a Seth Rollins fan in the crowd.
Remember when him and Becky came out against AJ Lee and the CM Punk, and they were wearing those big ass outfits.
Yep,
that's the only thing I can think of.
Probably can't show it due to copyright, but yeah. I do remember.
You can show it. You just can't play the audio because YouTube doesn't care if you show something. They just care if you play the audio, because I don't know. I guess people perceive audio more than they actually perceive visual stimuli, which only works if you're blind.
Thank you for that incisive commentary on the human mind. Can you please further elucidate us on the main event?
Main event: LA Knight versus, say his name and he appears. It's Joe Hendry. Why am I throwing the Joe Hendry card out this early? Because it's Road Dogg, and he will always go for the lowest hanging fruit possible. And I think Joe Hendry comes out, and I think that LA Knight wins this one via pinfall. Joe Hendry, again, thank you for coming. I think he's still got his time in TNA and NXT. And finally, LA Knight can go over. What happens after the match is Cody comes into the ring after. I think it's a really good match. Cody comes in after the ring, congratulates both guys. And then Drew McIntyre shows up out of the crowd, attacks Cody from behind. There's a brawl. Maybe he gets thrown through the table again. Nick Aldis finally comes out and he says, "You know what? I'm fed up. You guys are having a heck in a sec match at Survivor Series." And that is the blow off to that feud.
Whoa. 3 cage matches. So now you're saying that there's going to be a women's a women's War Games match, then your War Games match, and a Hell in a Cell match.
I mean, yeah, you have the cell already there, so.
Well, I thought you were going to say a San Diego street fight. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think you got to make it heck in a sec, man. I think you got to make it heck in a sec because you can't just have another X street fight. It's getting old. Gotta spice it up, and I think they go heck in a sec because it's Drew because the last time Drew McIntyre had a feud with the main event guy, he ended up in Hell in a Cell, and that was him and CM Punk.
Yes, him and CM Punk. Yeah,
I think it's Cody Rhodes again.
Okay,
this time,
and that is when you'll give it to Drew. Is that right?
I don't know. I would like Cody to drop it at Survivor Series. But I mean, to drop it in Hell in a Cell is kind of weird. So I think Cody keeps it probably, and unfortunately Drew McIntyre enters the Golden Jobber territory. But I think Cody has to drop it at WrestleMania. You can't have him drop it at Survivor Series, man.
Okay. Yeah, if we are going to have like an award show, like the Golden Jobber of the Year, I guess we'll put Drew McIntyre as a nominee. I think Drew McIntyre has had an awful year so far with this year. Hopefully his luck improves next year. But this year has just been god awful for him, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is, I guess. There was one other thing that I was going to ask, but I think that went out of my head. So I will leave with a random note where I was watching an NBA game, and I think there was, you know how there's like one of these games that the people play in between like timeouts? Or just like...
Yes.
And I think the woman that was like playing one of those games was wearing a Cody Rhodes sweater? Or like a Cody Rhodes camo sweater, I think? I could be wrong. But it looked like a Cody skull with like red, white, and blue sort of like in that, color. And I was like, huh, that's weird. I guess we got some overlap. I suppose. But anyway, I guess that's it. I suppose for both of these bookings. Yeah, that's it. Let's see if Road Dogg comes up with even more random crap than we have, and we'll go back here and tell you how random it was and how, we melded with Road Dogg's minds, if we did. I guess. It just depends on the points. But until then, Thank you so much for ordering a blue cheese pizza. Call probably next week on Smackdown for Grapperinos. And remember, if you're down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos.